Welcome to this month's installment of the Atlanta Fire Rescue's training regiment. Today we'll be going over the BIR, or the Brief Initial Report. Having a well-organized BIR helps the incoming units prepare for the incident while they're still en route. It also ensures that our seat riders are looking at the building and the conditions. This also instills confidence in the battalion chief that's still en route that you are selecting the correct strategy along with the best tactics. In this short PowerPoint presentation, we will start laying the foundation for a good scene size up and a good BIR. Here are the Atlanta Fire Department's original 6 BIR points. This is a good system, but we think we can narrow it down to 3 blocks. This will aid our new seat riders in digesting the incident and make better decisions. Here are the 3 blocks. We want you to take each one step at a time, then combine all of them together to make one full brief initial report. We're going to have you look at the building, the conditions, and the mode and phase of operation. When you arrive on the scene, we want you to focus on the building. It doesn't matter if there's nothing showing, if it's burning from end to end, or fire showing just out one window. Stay focused on the building. How many stories is it? What is it made out of? What's inside of it? If you're unsure of the construction, give the occupancy. But remember, keep it simple. You do not have a one-story adolescent educational facility. You have a school. Also, try to avoid generic terms like commercial. A commercial building can be anything from an 800 square foot convenience store to the 2,000 acre Kia plant down in West Georgia. So here's the example of this building here. Engine 7 is on the scene with a 2-story wood frame single family dwelling. We hit the height, how it's made, and its occupancy. After you look at the building, we want you to focus on the conditions. What do you see and where? Where's the fire located? Which floor? What side? How many windows? What's the smoke conditions like? Or what's the color of the smoke, the density, the velocity? But I will caution you on mentioning the smoke. Smoke should really be considered when it doesn't match the fire conditions. It's very easy to get very wordy when we start describing smoke. Of course, if the smoke is hateful, turbulent, black, brown, throughout the whole building, it needs to be added. For example, this building here, after you describe the building, you would give the conditions. And the conditions are, we have fire showing, 2nd floor, window, alpha side. After we look at the building and we look at the conditions, it's time to decide mode and phase of operation. When it comes to modes, you only have 2 choices: offensive, interior firefighting, or defensive, exterior firefighting. The Atlanta Fire Rescue does not use marginal anymore. We are either in the game or we're out of it. There are 3 phases. Rescue phase is when we're actively searching for savable life. Confined and control is what we go into after the primary is proved negative and we're actively attempting to save property. Property conservation is when we stop the loss and we're salvaging property. So let's put it all together. Engine 7 is on the scene, 123 Smith Street. We have a 2-story wood frame single family. We have fire showing out 2 windows on the Alpha Bravo corner, 2nd floor. We'll be offensive mode rescue phase. Smith Street Command out doing a 360. I'm sure most of you noticed that working fire is not in these BIR. It was left out on purpose. If a BIR starts with working fire, most firefighters will tune out the rest of the brief initial report, and this can be very dangerous. If you want to include working fire in your BIR, that is fine. We just ask that you add it towards the end. As we look at the next few slides, we want you to follow the same steps of building, conditions, mode, and phase. As we do these BIRs, you can add and change words to suit your style. That's perfectly acceptable as long as you follow building, conditions, mode, and phase. Remember, this is a basic BIR class of nothing else than 1- and 2-story frames, single multifamily. As you go out throughout your career, you'll definitely find more challenging buildings. Keep practicing. Some of these building BIRs are long, and we added some things such as number of the windows and etc. just to show different ways of delivering information. The next few slides will show you a picture of a building and give you approximately 30 seconds to come up with your own BIR. And then we'll show you the BIR following our system. So let's get started putting all this together. I want you to take about 30 seconds, look at the building, look at your conditions, and think about your mode and phase of operation, and come up with your own BIR for this building right here. All right, now let's look and see what y'all came up with. Looks something similar to this. Engine 7's on the scene, 123 Smith Street, 2-story wood frame, single family, fire showing out 2 windows, the Alpha Delta corner, 2nd floor. We will be offensive mode rescue phase, Smith Street command out doing a 360. Let's take a minute to look at this building here. There's a little bit more going on than the last picture, but using the same system, building, conditions, mode and phase, when we'll give you 30 seconds to come up with your own BIR. Let's see if you came up with something that looks like this. Engine 7's on the scene, 123 Smith Street, 2-story wood frame, single family. We got fire showing, 1st, 2nd floor, Alpha Bravo corner. We're offensive mode rescue phase. 7 will be out doing a 360. With fire on 2 floors, it's critical that we add that to our brief initial report. It gives the incoming trucks a better idea of where to start their search, and incoming engines a clue on where they're going to deploy their hand lines. Also, fire on 2 floors is a cue for you to call a second alarm. You don't always have to, but it's definitely a consideration. Now this is one where the smoke definitely needs to be mentioned. Again, we're going to give you 30 seconds. Think about how you're going to describe these conditions. There's a little bit more to this one than the last 2. So let's see what you come up with. So here's what we came up on this one. Engine 7's on the scene, 123 Smith Street, 1-story wood frame. We have fire showing, Delta Charlie corner, heavy smoke showing throughout. Engine 7's offensive mode rescue phase will be Smith Street command out doing a 360. By letting the 2nd and 3rd 2 units know that you have heavy smoke throughout and the fires on the Delta Charlie corner, you allow them to anticipate their assignments. For example, the first 2 truck might be prepared to vertical vent. Now they know the fire's on the Delta Charlie corner as soon as they arrive, and they can shorten the reflex time and get the job done quicker. This will enable a quicker search and a quicker attack. Now on to some multifamilies. Remember, use the same steps of the building, conditions, mode, and phase, and see what you can come up with on this building. Engine 7's on the scene, 123 Smith Street. We have a 2-story wood frame multifamily. We have fire showing, alpha side, second floor unit, center unit. Engine 7 will be offensive mode, rescue phase will be Smith Street Command. On multi-story multifamily, it's imperative that you give a good location of the fire. Lines must be stretched on all sides to check for extension, and all exposure apartments must be checked. Let's move on to the next one. Now this one's a little hard to tell, but we're going to say this is a 3-story building. We're going to give you 30 seconds to see what you come up with. Remember, a 3-story building. Engine 7's on the scene. We have a 3-story wood frame multifamily. We have fire showing out one window, alpha side, 3rd floor, center unit. Engine 7 will be offensive mode, rescue phase, Smith Street Command. There's a lot of critical factors going on in this one. A good BIR will give a cue to incoming units as to what their assignment will be, and to the battalion chief on whether or not he'll need some help. For example, a second alarm. So take a look at this and we'll be back in 30 seconds. So let's see if you come up with something that looks and sounds like this. Engine 7's out 123 Smith Street, 3-story wood frame multifamily. We have heavy fire showing, alpha side, 2nd floor, center unit. Engine 7 will be offensive mode, rescue phase, out doing a 360. This concludes our BIR Setting the Stage for Success class. Please remember this is a very basic beginner level introduction to doing good BIRs. By following the buildings, the conditions, the mode and phase of operation, you will hit on most of the important information needed to make an incident outcome successful. This system will work for a 1-story frame all the way up to a high-rise. A good BIR will set the incident up for success. It will allow for quicker rescues, better and anticipated line placement, and more rapid ventilation. All of these help us save lives and keep firefighters safe. Keep practicing.